Hello, I'm Daehyun Kwak, PhD candidate at Industrial Design in KAIST. Today, I'm presenting a research entitled Investigating the Potential of Group Recommendation Systems as a Medium of Social Interactions, a case of Spotify blend experiences between two users. Nowadays, many media streaming services curate personalized content to users using recommendation systems. Although these personalized experiences have mostly designed for individual users, in daily lives we experience various activities in groups. For example, we listen to music or watch movies with someone else together. To support these social activities, a group recommendation systems or GRS have emerged. GRS provides content recommendations to multiple users based on each user's preferences. As calculating recommendations for multiple users is challenging, current GRS research has been largely dedicated to improving accuracy and efficiency of recommendations. However, we can view GRS as a social technology which is shared and interacted by a group of users. Accordingly, we can think that experience of using GRS together can influence social relationship among users. Indeed, several previous research reported media sharing system can foster user social bonding, connectedness, and communications. This work implied a hint at the potential of GRS as a facilitator and mediator of social interactions, and we thought understanding such behaviors was needed to user-centered design of GRS experiences. In this background, we established our research question as how GRS can facilitate and mediate social interactions among users. To answer this question, we determined Spotify's blend as our research context for empirical user studies. Blend is a shared playlist that provides recommended songs for multiple users based on users' activities on Spotify. For example, in case of two-user situation, Blend provides recommendations for user A and user B and both users. Also, in the blend, users' profile pictures are shown alongside each recommended song. This feature serves to indicate which user taste each recommended item is based on. We thought Blend is representative real-world service of GRS, so we chose it as a context for our empirical studies. As a main study, we planned diary study and interview, but before that, we conducted preliminary qualitative survey to identify the key issues pinpointing what we should further explore through the main study. The survey was responded by 38 Blend users. As a result, we found respondents usually used to blend with someone who they have known in the real world and in pairs. Also, some qualitative quotes from respondents implied the promise of investigating social interactions through GRS. Based on these key insights from the survey, we sharpened the main study's aim as to explore how two close or acquainted relationships socially interact while using Blend together. Under this aim, we conducted diary study and interview to capture rich, nuanced narratives related to people's social interactions through GRS. We recruited 30 participants of 15 pairs, and they encompassed relationship types such as parent-child, siblings, spouses or romantic couples, friends, and co-workers. Using Blend together for 3 weeks, our participants were asked to personally write diaries every day. We provide online diary using Notion platform to ensure participants' accessibility, and diary consisted of several questions as follows. Upon finishing the diary study, we conducted in-depth interviews with each participant. Then, we thematically analyzed all data from diary entries and interview transcriptions. From now, we introduce our key findings. Our findings consist of 2 primary themes and 6 sub-themes. In this paper, we indicated each person in a pair as a participant and companion, respectively. First, participants made a tacit understanding of their companions. Firstly, while using Blend, participants noticed unknown and unexpected tastes of their companions. From the recommended songs along with profile pictures, participants discovered clues about their companions' musical tastes. For example, a couple participants were pleased to find out for the first time they both enjoy New Age music. From our diary entries, we found this couple came to enjoy New Age music together thereafter. Secondly, participants inferred recent emotions or circumstances of their companion from blend. Based on recommendations for companions, participants inferred their companion's recent dating status, emotional draining, sleep trouble, and busy schedule. A reasoning process was similar to previous theme, but participants inferred a more nuanced situation of their companions. One participant perceived using blend as a different kind of communication compared to directly engaging in everyday conversations. She mentioned using blend was like a more indirect yet deeper communication, and she might not be able to find out those information when she asked directly her sister. Lastly, awareness of companions led participants to consciously manage their impression. Because participants made inferences about their companions, they also thought their companions would infer information about themselves based on the same reasoning process. So, participants tried to conceal certain taste of themselves or avoid their taste being misunderstood. One participant's diary entry will represent these behaviors. Second, participants engaged in indirect communication with their companions. Firstly, participants intentionally attempted to make blend include the songs that they would like to suggest to their companion. These participants were aware of the fact that a blend generates recommendations based on their activities on Spotify. Consequently, they deliberately searched and listened to the songs that they wanted to introduce to their companions. We call this behavior as a non-coercive suggestion. Participants perceived this non-coercive suggestion as a more effective approach in comparison with their previous experiences of directly sharing media content, like sending a URL of a music or video. They mentioned directly sharing content could force their companions to accept the suggestions, but offering suggestions indirectly using blend could nudge them, giving less pressure regarding feedback. One participant reported that such non-coercive suggestion fostered a more receptive and open-minded attitude toward the preferences of his girlfriend, comparing previous unsuccessful attempts to persuade her to listen to the song directly. Secondly, participants appreciated blend for enabling them to indirectly confirm an expansion of their common interests. When both of their profile pictures started appearing alongside several recommendations, participants became surprised, thankful, and pleased to start confirming that they were gradually reaching an intersection of tastes, because they believed their companions tried to listen to the songs of their tastes. Lastly, participants demonstrated several prosocial behaviors while using blend. For example, if participants knew their companions disliked particular songs, they intentionally refrained from listening to those songs to prevent the songs from appearing in blend. One participant's interview quote well described this kind of thoughtful attitude. Also, some participants attempted to exhibit a sign of emotional support to their companions. These participants tried to include songs in blend that could be supportive of their companions, considering their companions' current emotions or states. Looking back at our findings, we affirmed that GRS functioned as a social catalyst, as it supported mutual understanding, facilitated conversations, and triggered creative communications. In this section, we introduced the key design attributes and design challenges for designing GRS as a social catalyst. As a design attribute, firstly, the level of ambiguity in the recommendation algorithms can be tuned to design the quality of social experience of GRS. This inherent opacity of the system led participants to interpret the reasons behind the recommendations and develop own fork theories for GRS. For example, in design case of blend, profile pictures implicitly indicate the regional recommendations. However, the system can reveal more explicitly the details of why each song was recommended by telling users what percentage a particular song reflects which user's taste profile. Or, reversely, it can hide even more information than it does now by removing users' profile pictures associated with recommendations. Secondly, the visibility of user behaviors can be controlled to design the quality of social experience of GRS. For instance, allowing users to see how many times the other group member has played a specific song may strengthen a sense of shared experiences and promote a deeper understanding of each other's preferences. On the other hand, we found some challenges for designing GRS experience. Just like Blend within Spotify, GRS can be embedded in a platform whose main service is to provide individualized recommendations for users. Therefore, GRS designers should consider balancing between individual and collective experiences. To address this issue, it could be essential to support users in preserving social faces that might be shaped through recommendations. For example, you can give users control to whether they disclose their personal taste to other GRS members by offering users an option like "Do not recommend this song for the shared playlist." In conclusion, our key contribution is as follows. We conceptualized GRS as a medium of social interactions beyond decision-making support tool, identified experiential qualities of user social interactions facilitated by GRS, and identified design attributes and challenges for social experience of GRS. We hope that our work could inspire further research in area of social experiences with AI or ML-based technology. Please refer to our paper for more details that we could not cover in this presentation. Thank you for listening.